So a very interesting thing happened just last week where Apple basically pushed out their earnings report. And within that earning report, they basically stated that, hey, we're beating some expectations in some areas, but for the most part in some other areas, we're really not doing the best. And their iPhone sales actually ended up declining. So that is actually a pretty insane thing. We've actually been seeing their sales numbers kind of go down and down in terms of their iPhones. It's expected, but they actually were lower than expected. They were already expected to, be lower, but they were actually way less than they were suggesting, which is pretty interesting. In fact, if we take a look at some numbers, the iPhone revenue from Apple, Q3 of 2022, was $40.67 billion. But now, with the latest iPhone, it's $39.67 billion. So why did it go down that much? Well, it's a few different reasons. For one, of course, we're kind of later in the sales of, the iPhones, segment right now. So next month, next quarter, it's going to be a lot more sales. But two, with their iPhone 14s, I really don't think this was even that big of an upgrade. But that, I think, personally, made a big movement and a big shift to people buying used iPhones. And I personally do think the used market is the one area where Apple is really not the most excited in, and they're really not looking forward to those sales numbers, at least because of the used iPhone prices. Now, a few things. This isn't all bad. Apple's still making a ton of money because their service revenue, basically the revenue they make from their services of selling like Apple TV and iCloud and all those things, that actually went from $19.6 billion to $21.21 billion this year. And it actually beat expectations in their service revenue, which is actually really big. So Apple's still going to be making a bunch of money that way. But when you actually look at their iPhone revenue, it's going down and down. So I think what's going on is that Apple is selling less and less iPhones in the brand new market. They're, still making a bunch of money from their service revenue because a lot more people are buying a lot more used iPhones. So in a way, Apple is kind of not making as much money in terms of brand new iPhone sales, but they could potentially be making more money from the service revenue. Now, we don't even know if that's 1000% the case, you have to remember, because within their service revenues, that does include outside products outside iPhones. So that includes Macs and all these other things, but also pre-existing products that are already existing right there. So there's a lot of different things kind of going on at the same time. But the one thing I would probably recommend you to kind of think about is that if you are in the market, I would always recommend buying a used iPhone. They are solid devices. They are very good. And it really only makes sense to buy something like that rather than going through and buying a brand new one if you have the opportunity of doing so. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.